Good morning, everyone. Brian Hoops here with Midwest Market Solutions. This is Market Insider TV. This is our opening commentary on Thursday morning, April the 3rd. Thanks for joining us here as we take a look at our action from the overnight and what our news is that's affecting our trading day. It is pretty much bearish. You can look at the screen here and look at all the red. These cattle markets haven't opened, but they will be red when we open. But everything is in the red except natural gas this morning. U.S. dollar, 2% lower, sharp lower here this morning. Look at crude oil down 7%. Stock market off sharply as well, 3.6%. Gold and silver falling despite the weakness in the dollar. Corn ends 7.5 lower. Diesel down 5 3/4. Soybeans off 22 to 23 cents in the overnight trade. And a big fall in bean oil overnight as it has gained a lot this week. We're seeing a lot of weakness here to start the morning hours. Wheat down 6 to 7, 9% losses in Chicago. What's happening? A lot of tariff talk. The Trump and tariff trades are in play, and we'll talk about what's going on here and why these things and what are happening, what we can expect with the market activity today. For latest information, follow us on Twitter, visit our website, sign up for our text message service. We've been sending out some text already this morning regarding these markets. So let's talk markets in here and get into the presentation this morning. I will be doing RFD TV this morning, talking about all this in a wrap-up fashion. So if you want to get a full detailed look at it, watch the TV segment at 8:15. Be glad to talk about markets there. You can always call any of our offices. They'd be willing to talk markets and some strategies with you as well. In our newsletter this morning, and you can sign up for our newsletter as well if you haven't received it yet. Our newsletter gives a summary of President Trump's reciprocal tariff announcements, about 8 different baseline points. That kind of gives you a nice overview of what is going on behind the scenes and why these markets are reacting. So there's a list of our offices. Reach out to any of the offices and they would be glad to help you with some markets. So first check of our weather here. Winter corn areas of Brazil still below normal rainfall, still forecast for most of these areas. That's a key point to watch as we get past some of this tariff news and we start talking about this potential rainfall. Lack thereof should be supportive for the markets. Southern Delta areas receiving heavy rains. So soft red wheat is going to receive some good rainfall. Hard red wheat kind of misses out on it, as northern Kansas and Nebraska see limited rain this week, leaving their wheat crops dry. Some decent rains in parts of the rest of the southern belt. And southern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio areas are going to get drenched. It's maybe a little early to be talking about corn planting in some of those areas, but it's going to take some time as there'll be flooding after this weekend. So big news is what's driving things here. President Trump's tariff announcements, they were more broad and heavier than expected. That set off a host of risk-off selling in grains and outside markets. It should pressure livestock markets when they open up this morning. This is the largest tariff announcement in U.S. history, and President Trump is expected to announce the largest tax cuts in U.S. history to combat inflationary costs. That's how I interpreted things, that this tariff announcement may raise the goods on some, may raise the cost of some goods and some services in the U.S., and the tax cut will give the American consumer a little bit more money in their pocket to help pay for these inflationary costs. We did have weekly export sales this morning. Wheat was 12.5 million bushels with 3.5 for the new crop category. Corn, 46.2, and soybeans at 15.1. We continue to see decent sales of corn and soybeans, and there is some cancellations within the sales reports. We have not seen any private sale cancellations this morning or any time here so far this spring, but there are some cancellations within the numbers here on this report. Beef sales were pretty disappointing, only 9.3 million tons, shipments of 14.9, but pork sales rebounded in a huge way, marking year high, 53 million tons, shipments at 32.9. Now, I do want to mention, they have not opened, they have not had a chance to react to these tariffs. There's a big increase on tariffs to China this morning. So not only, we're going to total about 54% of tariffs on Chinese goods. We expect that they will retaliate, and I would expect hogs to be sharply lower here this morning. I expect cattle to be sharply lower as well, given the tariffs and the retaliatory nature that some of these countries may start to impose. But China is a big buyer of U.S. pork, and I think we're going to see a sharp bearish reaction to the hog market this morning. Option expiration for April live cattle contracts is Friday, April the 4th. First notice day is this Monday. So option expiration tomorrow, and delivery period begins Monday for April cattle. No cash cattle trade yet this week. Bids are very scarce. Asking prices are $212 in the South. Those bids and asking prices will be adjusted. If cattle open lower today, look for the packers to step in and try and buy some inventory at lower cash money. All right, I'm going to sign off here and wish you a great day. Good luck, everyone. And as always, reach out to us. We'll be glad to talk markets with you. This has been Brian Hoops for Midwest Market Solutions. Good luck and good trading.